So for years and years, I've always kept a roll of black and white Gorilla Duct Tape in my shop. This stuff is way better than the cheaper rolls of duct tape you can find. It's super strong, super durable. I like the white and black depending on what project I'm working on. I use the different colors. Now this stuff was always 10 bucks. If you went to Home Depot or Amazon, it used to always be 10 bucks. And it would last about a year, so every year I would just buy 2 rolls and I was fine. So as you can see, my rolls are almost out for this year, and I went to Amazon to buy a new roll of tape, and I looked at the white duct tape and I noticed it wasn't $10, it was like $15 or $16. And I'm like, that seems like a pretty hefty increase in price, and I noticed a lot of people were talking about this. This is by a company called Trex. So I ended up buying the Gorilla Duct Tape and this Trex tape, which was only $10, so 16 compared to 10. And a lot of the reviews said they were pretty equal. So I'm going to test them out today and see what I think. Maybe I'll start buying this from now on, the Trex tape instead of the Gorilla Tape. Okay, a quick side note is I also bought a roll of the black Gorilla Tape because I think this was a little cheaper. This was a $12 or $13, so not quite 16. Also, something to note, I always buy the 1.8 inch wide for all of them. And then for the black tape, it was 38 yards. And for both of these white rolls, they only came in the 30 yards. So the white rolls are equivalent in size and length, and the difference in price again was 10 to 16 when I bought them. So let's test them out and see how they perform. So here's my leftover rolls that are almost gone. Here's the black Gorilla Tape, and again, it's 1.8 inch, 38.5 yards. And this was still at the cheaper price, so I went with this. And then here are the 2 rolls of the white Trex and Gorilla Tape. So in looking at the 2, even though they say they're the same length, I would say the Trex tape is a little bit thicker. It's the same inner diameter, and the Trex tape seems to be a little bit thicker, so I might say it's a little bit thicker tape. So the Gorilla Tape that I've had for years and years and years, I know pretty much how this is, how it tears. That's exactly how I remember it. It's easy to tear into strips. So this is exactly how I remember traditional, typical Gorilla Tape to act. Now this Trex tape, it seems a little stickier. I would say it's stickier right off the bat. It's about the same, it feels pretty similar in thickness. I don't notice anything different. If I was blindfolded, I wouldn't tell the difference. It tears a little easier. I could tell I could tear that a little bit easier. It seems to tear just as well. I can tear it into little strips. So just testing it out, even though it was thicker on the roll, when I'm using it, it seems a little bit flimsier. Not much, but it seems a lot stickier. So if I put it on the table here and peel that off, compared to the Gorilla Tape, yeah. I would say that the Trex tape is a little bit thinner and a little bit stickier. So in comparing the 2 tapes, this is exactly how I remember it. It's nice and heavy, it pulls, it's got a little bit of stick to it, but it's not too bad. This stuff, it seemed a little bit thinner, and it seemed a lot stickier. Pulling it off the roll was a lot harder to get it off this roll. This stuff, as always, once you get it started off the roll, I mean, it's got some good adhesion to it, but once you get it started, it'll pull in little bursts off the roll. And it's got pretty good adhesion, and it sticks to itself. But compared to this Trex tape, this stuff seemed a lot stickier. And it seems a little bit more pliable. So I don't know if it's thinner, but the Gorilla Tape would hold its shape more, as I would think. It would, if you'd stick it out, it would hold its shape, where I think this Trex tape would kind of droop a little more. So my final opinion on the 2, they're both going to be fine for what you need. If you're not super picky, you could probably get away with either, and you probably wouldn't notice the difference. Only because they're side by side, and I've been using Gorilla Tape for many years. This seems a little bit thicker. It seems a little bit more more rigid. It won't bend as easily. and it has its typical stickiness where when you try to pull it off the roll, it'll come off in little bursts. But this stuff has always been the gold standard for me. But overall, if you're not super picky, I would go with the cheaper stuff. You're not going to really notice a difference. Even side by side, it's hard to really pick and choose which one's better. Just because I've been using this longer and it seems more durable, this seems a little bit more robust than this stuff. This is kind of a little bit closer to your typical cheaper duct tape, but not much. If it's, you know, $5, $6, $7 cheaper every time, yeah, I'll probably buy this. It's not that big of a difference. But overall, if you're only buying this duct tape, you know, once a year, it doesn't hurt to spend an extra $5 on something that's a little bit better. But overall, if this is a 10, this is a 9. So let me know what you think. Thanks.